Welcome back, everyone, to Not Just Any Other Story. It's Anita Capri. I'm so happy you joined us today. I'm so excited to do this podcast today. I've been waiting a long time to do Praying for Justin, a narrative about how I discovered, well, not really discovered, but how I came to realize the talent of Justin Bieber. And I have a fellow Bieber fan here with me who it took us a long time to try and make this date. Kristen, thank you so very much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to share all my Bieber knowledge with you.
And she's got a lot because Kristen was actually, I'm old enough to be his mother, but you were actually a fan as a young girl.
Yeah, I was. Like, ever since, I don't know, he came out with that, like, prepubescent voice of his, and I just was hooked. Yeah, he was a baby, and so was I.
And he sang the song, Baby.
He did.
Anyway, okay, so we're going to, this is basically, I think I wrote this, so COVID kind of hit here in 2020. I think I wrote this 6 months to a year later, maybe, when I was driving home one day and the song Holy came on the radio. Yeah. And I didn't know it was him at first. And I just loved the bluesy type of gospel-y sound that the song had. And I just happened to be coming up on, getting off the highway and coming up on a country road, and the sunset was absolutely stunning. And, the song with the sunset I actually pulled over. Yeah. It was so amazing. So after that, I went home and the Justin Bieber course 2.0, 1.0, whatever began. And I started to really realize how talented this young man was. I always liked him, but I never really knew much about him. Mm-hmm. So this is the story of my discovery. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, so here we go. This story is called Praying for Justin. I was 53 years old when I really started paying attention to Justin Bieber, the iconic pop star who had dominated entertainment headlines over the past decade or so. Of course, I knew who Justin Bieber was. I knew some of his songs, and I knew that he was discovered on YouTube. I would hear the odd tune on the radio now and then, but I really had no true understanding of his talent, or rather, his artistry, until fairly recently. A kid with a great voice, a teen idol, and something about being the most Googled person on the planet. These were some tidbits of information I had gathered over the years on the subject of Justin Bieber. Despite my limited exposure to this megastar, I had begun to acquire an appreciation of certain songs, particularly over the past few years. Driving to work one day, I remember hearing Love Yourself for the first time and thinking, you tell her, Justin. That was my first thought. My second thought teetered somewhere between noticing how lovely his voice was, though notably matured at that point, and recalling that he had been in some sort of trouble lately. But as I said, I hadn't paid too much attention. It was perhaps a year or so after that when I heard the song I Don't Care, a collaboration with Ed Sheeran, and I thought it so catchy that I downloaded it from iTunes. I Don't Care consequently became my summer favorite while I spent time at the cottage north of Toronto. I felt a tiny surge of joy every time it played on my song list. I sang along as I stained the deck or while I lounged on the patio looking out at the lake, but I preferred blasting it on my Bluetooth speaker while I was preparing dinner, a glass of red wine in hand, secretly dancing to it when no one was watching. To my own surprise, I even found myself defending my choice in my music when my sister, who had been visiting, asked, "Is that Justin Bieber?" We had been enjoying the hot sunny day chatting while we watched a mama loon teach her baby how to fish when the song came on. I immediately wanted to pause the conversation so that I could listen. When I responded to her question, I suddenly felt the need to talk the singer up, saying something like, "Yes, that's Justin Bieber. What a talented guy, eh?" And then commenting that I had heard he had bought a mansion somewhere outside of Guelph, Ontario, and praising him for keeping his Canadian roots close to home. That was the extent to which I had thought or talked about Justin Justin Bieber. There were the occasional references made about him when some family members called my eldest son Biebs because of his resemblance to the superstar. It was all in good fun since my son didn't seem to mind and he had always shrugged it off with a chuckle. It was only when I had seen a picture of Justin Bieber with his toque and strands of blonde hair sticking out of it that I had to do a double take because I actually mistook him for a picture of my son. That aside, I was still fairly oblivious to the young man who had lit the internet on fire with his voice and gumption, the one for whom millions of young women and girls had contracted Bieber fever, the boy who had grown up with the world watching and judging him. Did you have Bieber fever?
Oh, I had, I think, the most Bieber fever anyone could have. Like, my room was covered. Like, there was no spot where there was no Justin Bieber. So, yes, I had contracted the fever. I did.
Okay, well, I was too old. I'm probably taking care of little kids at the time. So it's interesting to hear your perspective of that, Kristen. Okay, of course, there were reasons for my fleeting interest in Justin Bieber. I had a 12 and, there you go. I had 10 and 12-year-old sons myself when he'd hit the music scene. I guess that was in about 2012.
Yeah.
At the time, my husband and I were both working long hours. We had 2 mortgages, 3 cats, and I was also taking courses to become a school administrator. Life was busy. And when you're going through the motions of raising children and managing a career, you tend to be selective about where you channel your energy, and your hobbies and interests sometimes take a back seat. Thankfully, there was always my love for music. Even though I was never a musician, music had always given me great solace and happiness throughout my life, and that never took a back seat. Growing up, I loved to sing, especially Beatles songs. I would play my Beatles albums almost every day and eventually learned how to sing the harmonies. It was my uncle who'd introduced me to the Fab Four. I remember his explanation of why they had really broken up and that he preferred John while I preferred Paul, though I clearly remember how devastated I was when John Lennon had been shot. I don't think I spoke for at least 3 days. Eventually, I would teach myself how to play Beatles songs that I liked on the piano. Not that I played piano well at all. I had taken lessons on and off, but lacked the discipline it took to be any good at it. I didn't have the music theory or even an innate ability for playing, but I did have a good ear, and I would spend hours figuring out how to play songs I liked. The Beatles, Supertramp, songs I heard on the radio. It became a much-loved distraction for me even into my adulthood. I also took up the guitar at one point during my adolescence, but that was a short-lived endeavor. I never abandoned my love of music and of singing. When I was in high school, I joined a couple of choirs and took up piano lessons again. I'd also taught choir when I became a teacher. It was one of the greatest joys of my career. I was even able to find an outlet for my Beatles and Michael Jackson obsessions, creating a few amateur arrangements for my grade 7 and 8 singers. I'll never forget the students in the choir holding up the letters "Heal the World" as we sang it during one of our music nights at the school. In addition to my love of John, Paul, George, and Ringo, I loved Michael Jackson's music as far back as I can remember. So much so that when I got married, okay, this is a true story, I had a few musical friends sing "Will You Be There" at the church service. Ironically, one of the singers' names was Elvis. Elvis singing Michael Jackson. What more could one ask for at such a pivotal moment in one's life? The Off the Wall album was by far my favorite. I would have been about the same age when it was released as Justin Bieber was when he reached stardom. I, of course, had the vinyl version of it, now sitting in a box in my basement. I used to play it over and over again in our basement rec room while I taught myself how to moonwalk. When I recently discovered that my love for Michael Jackson's music and dance moves was shared by Justin Bieber, it all made perfect sense. Justin Bieber is a great moonwalker, by the way. You probably knew that, right, Kristen?
Yes, we saw it on Ellen.
When I would finally discover Justin Bieber, I couldn't help but think about how much music connects us, not just in a lateral way, but in the way it connects one generation to the next. Justin was a Beatles and Jackson fan. I wonder if he appreciated these musical influencers in the same way that I did, in the same way a generation before me did, my uncle's generation. It wasn't until one December evening in 2020, while heading home from work, that my casual indifference to Justin Bieber had suddenly morphed into a newfound fascination with the singer. Driving along Highway 88 just north of Toronto, the sun was just setting in a brilliant orange sky when I heard Holy, one of Justin Bieber's more recent releases at the time. The piano chords at the beginning of the song struck me immediately. It was gospel music, wasn't it? As the same succession of chords played repeatedly and led into the chorus, the R&B vibe had eased its way beautifully into the song. I was smitten. There was an exuberance to Holy that was mesmerizing. Then the lyric about the sky opening up played as I was staring at the most beautiful sunset. The sky was glowing, and I suddenly had the distinct urge to stop at the side of the road and take a picture. I didn't know if it was the expanse of multicolored hues that had played on my mood, affecting the way that the song was drawing me in, or if it was the song that had made the sunset look and feel so glorious. It was truly a personal moment of beauty and grace. I wished I could share it. People needed these kinds of moments, a picturesque pause from the reality of a pandemic that had brought the world to its knees. When I arrived home, out of curiosity, I Googled Holy and ended up watching the video for it. I actually cried and then wondered what was wrong with me that a music video would touch me in such a way, until I watched the music video for Lonely, also a Justin Bieber song, and then I cried again. It was so moving and so relevant that I suddenly gained an intense appreciation for the artist that set me on a mission to find out more about him. And it was easy enough. Once you watch something on YouTube, you start getting notifications for more and more videos on the same topic. I should have known this after having viewed so many funny cat videos. Yes. I love cats. Everybody knows this about me. I watched music videos, interviews, concert clips, and documentaries on Justin Bieber. The frenzy of screaming fans brought me back to some of my own concert memories. Donny Osmond, the Bay City Rollers. Now I'm aging myself. Earth, Wind and Fire, Whitney Houston, Phil Collins, Prince, and the time I was lifted out of the crowd by security at a Platinum Blonde concert in Toronto, having almost fainted from the pushing and jumping of excited fans. The more I watched Justin Bieber videos, the more I wanted to learn. I was fast approaching the status of a true Belieber, or was I too late for that? I started to wonder if I had contracted Bieber fever after my son commented that I was becoming obsessed with watching stuff about him. I couldn't help it. I was enchanted. His story was like a fairy tale, the stuff dreams are made of, a small town boy's rise to fame, and yet the story was unique, his jump to stardom having played out on a social media platform. So I'm going to pause it there because, there's more, obviously, but any comments, Kristen?
The cat videos was every single Friday. It was Bieber Friday, yeah. And I think it was the cat videos on the Wednesday. Yes. So yes, YouTube really, really had you on point there. But yeah, it was good. Honestly, I feel like once he started off, it was like the little teeny bopper girls that were so excited about him. And then as he matured and his music started getting better and more relatable, I feel like all the adults hopped on board as well. Yeah. Yeah. So.
Well, okay, so I don't know. I was going to bring this up at the end, but
okay.
So, do you remember when he was supposed to come to Toronto?
Yes.
Right? And you remember how excited I was to see him?
Excited, yes.
Oh my gosh, because it would have been the first time I saw him. So I bought tickets a year in advance.
I remember.
I remember when he canceled, poor guy. Yeah. I remember reading articles in the paper and in the news about, and these were women my age that had bought tickets and hotel rooms and come from all over, not country, the world, to see him in Toronto. And it was, Did
he end up coming?
No. Yeah. Well, no, sorry. So he was supposed to be here in June. He had 2 concerts planned. Yeah. He had already been in March. And my niece, this is another funny story. Yes. My niece got tickets for March. And I said, oh, you shouldn't get tickets for March. Get them in June when we're going. Because, you never know the weather in March and trying to get downtown. And she's like, no, I'm just going to go in March because my friends all want to go. So she went in March and got to see him. So guess what? No. When June hit, I was actually that day... I found out the day before my concert, because he had a concert that day and a day after, which was when I was supposed to see him.
You were so upset about this. I remember this happening.
Yeah. And my sister-in-law said to me, did you, like, she was scared to tell me. I thought something really bad, really bad happened, like somebody died. So she said, did you hear? And I said, what? And she said, the Bieber concert was canceled. And I said, oh, okay. And I was almost relieved because I thought it was something much worse. And she said, you better call and get your hotel canceled.
That's right.
And I couldn't.
Oh, no.
I couldn't cancel and it was like, I think $400 a night. So I was like, I'm still taking the day off. I'm still going downtown Toronto.
Remember.
And and the funny part was, so he had canceled the concert that day and the day after because of the Ramsay Hunt syndrome.
That's right.
Yeah. When his face was paralyzed.
I forgot about that.
I just have this feeling that he wanted to perform. That's why it was so late in canceling. Yeah. And he probably was told, you're going to do some major damage and you will not be able to do this concert, because it was late in the day. Like it was that night, the concert, I was going the next night, but that night, and he canceled at like 2 p.m. it came out. So I have this feeling that he was pushing himself to do it, and he was told by his medical.
And it wasn't long after that he kind of just took a pause from everything too.
Yeah, well, he was sick.
It all happened fast.
And then remember, Haley had that episode too. So there's, you know what? There was probably, divine intervention saying, stop for a minute. Yeah. Right? And, but and then it was so funny because I had taken the day and gone downtown. And then when I got back to work, I come into my office, and on the computer screen was a big picture, like pasted to the computer screen of Justin Bieber and the words, "Sorry, Anita."
Oh, yes, I remember that. Yeah. That's so funny. Your office, that one for his birthday. Do you remember how your office was?
It was April Fool's.
It was,
And when, isn't his birthday March 1st?
It was March, yes.
But this was April Fool's. They Biebified my office. Yes. And I got to work and it was Biebified. Like there was Bieber everywhere.
Yeah. That cutout that is now in your bedroom?
No, that wasn't there. That was the
just
retirement
in your retirement?
one. Yeah. I'll tell that story at the end.
Okay. We're jumping ahead.
I'll tell that one at the end. But I think what we'll do now is I'll let you read some of this, and then maybe I'll just read the last page.
Sure.
And we'll continue on with my discovery of this wonderful human being.
Okay. All right. So I was to discover that Justin Bieber had lived most of his pre-fame years in public housing with a mom who was quite young herself, dealing with her own struggles. From very early on, it was apparent that Justin had a gift. There was one clip in particular that I had to watch a few times over of Justin at 2 years old playing some beats with his hands on a kitchen chair. I do know that video. I have seen it. I couldn't believe the rhythm he had, though still a toddler, the early evidence of his musicality. It was almost ominous to witness the early signs of what was to come, like a tsunami slowly rolling into shore. Then there was his busking in front of the Avon Theatre in Stratford, Ontario, singing his heart out. Who was this brave young man with the killer voice? It wasn't just his voice, had a wide range and excellent pitch, but his vocal agility for a 12-year-old was quite incredible. I soon began to realize that this wasn't just a young teen who had been discovered because he sang well. Some would argue that if it weren't for YouTube and the younger viewers it attracted, then Justin may have never become the success he is today. To that, I would have to strongly disagree. Justin had just the right melange of talent. He had a beautiful, crisp voice, musical ability. He plays drums, piano, and guitar. And he had personality. He was gifted musically and would soon become an extension of this, a gifted entertainer, adding dancer to his repertoire of skills. You need only to watch him perform, particularly in a concert, to understand. As I watched and learned more about Justin Bieber, it soon became apparent that perhaps his life wasn't such a fairy tale after all. I had to find out what all the hype was about with him getting into trouble. There was a fight with the paparazzi, drag racing, a DUI, I know I remember that mugshot. I began to fear what all his fans fear, and mothers too. Was Justin Bieber going to be like so many child stars and fall victims to drugs or alcohol? Would he become depressed? Would it ruin his career, his relationships? He had certainly done extremely well for himself, and his brand had done much good. He made a lot of people a lot of money. He had many charities he supported, a clothing line, and he had given a whole generation something to be super excited about. But as he reached his early 20s, he seemed to be falling down a little bit, maybe more than a little bit. There's no doubt that he had made some bad choices, like every young person does at some point in their journey to adulthood. The problem was that his were in front of the whole world. In 2017, Justin Bieber ended his Purpose Tour early due to exhaustion and depression, according to the media. He had performed 150 shows up to its cancellation. Frankly, I am surprised it took that long for him to burn out. He had been on tour since he was 16 years old, appearing in every music and entertainment venue going. And let's not forget that he had a tutor that went on the road with him in the first couple years so he could continue his education and graduate high school. When I watched clips of his performance during the Purpose Tour, there were a few subtle moments where I could almost feel his performance, fatigue in his body language or in his expressions. I couldn't imagine the degree of energy and drive that a performer like him would need on a good day. This poor guy traveled around the world, sang, danced, and jumped around on stage while the weight of expectation, disappointment, and physical and mental exhaustion were slowly crushing his spirit. I imagine my own sons, so close to his age, going through all of the growing pains of becoming young men and then becoming unwell while the world critiqued. I realized I had experienced the full gaunt of emotions in just a few weeks that fans had had years to get used to. The excitement and the adoration of a new young pop star, the heartbreak as every faltering moment is caught on camera, and finally, feeling protective of our Canadian gem. To my relief, I watched Justin in an Apple TV interview when I had aired last year in 2020. When I saw a young man who had grown up and who had learned a few things. At 26 years old, he talked about his love for music, his family, his fans, and his marriage to Haley Baldwin, and his faith, and how they had all helped him and were still helping him to heal. He seemed grounded and real, his emotions acknowledged of his own blessings while there is so much suffering in the world, was raw and sincere. He spoke about his journey he has had and the one he still needs to take. He seemed shockingly wise for his years. I felt proud of him. Yet, there was still an underlying fragility that I noticed. It wasn't just that he was teary-eyed at times during the interview or that he said himself that he was vulnerable. It was the way he jiggled his feet, how he fiddled with the cup in his hand, how he adjusted his hat and leaned forward, how he looked down to the floor, contemplative at times, even solemn when he spoke. I wondered if it were the realization of his influence, and that with such great influence comes great responsibility. I'd believed he wants to do it right. To have influence in a good way, through his music, his voice, his example. He had agreed with his interviewer in saying that he needs to be a leader on his next tour. He is right. He does need to do this, and it is a good place to start. As a school leader, I know there are times, especially right now, when you don't want to be the one leading the charge and carrying the weight of everyone. But those are the crucial moments when a leader has to smile, reassure, and tell everyone how amazing they are.
Yes. And I can tell you that from experience. And just to finish up, as I watched and listened to Justin Bieber, I found myself really wishing that he stay happy in his marriage and in his career, and that he is able to balance both. I hope that he continues to surround himself with those who truly love him. and that he takes care of himself so that he can take care of others in his own way. This is what I wish for him. It's what I wish for all the Justins of this generation who have a lot to take on. Now, after my weeks-long crash course on Justin Bieber, I find myself wanting to give the Biebs some advice. As if he were one of my own sons, I would tell him to make good choices, and that if you do things with kindness in your heart, then it will always be right. I would tell him to make mistakes, but to make sure his mistakes make him better. I would say, as the French do, courage, which means so much more than just have courage, but to keep going, don't give up, have faith. Life is hard. Marriage, children, family, career, health, loss. These things are hard. Add being famous on an extraordinary scale, harder. As for me, I will pray for my dear Justin and be his cheerleader because I want him to make it. We all do. And that is the end.
That's so good. I absolutely loved that. You know, I was wondering why all these years, why you were so into Justin, and I feel like this story just gave me goosebumps. It was so sweet, you know, and the ending too, you know, I feel like he's fallen off the face of the earth just a little bit, and rightly so, right? Yeah. So beautiful.
Well, this was obviously written before he had his baby,
right,
Jack Blues.
Right.
And, you know, because this was written, well, probably 2021, I think I wrote it, or just after, well, during COVID at one point, right? And a lot's happened since then. I mean, there's been all of this. I mean, the media really, you don't know exactly what's happening in his life, really.
Right.
Like, I mean, they say, oh, their marriage is on the rocks and
there's
all
been
this
so
stuff.
Many
and
speculations.
Yeah. And listen, like I said before in the narrative, his relationships happen basically in front of millions of people,
right?
And there's lots of opinions out there. But like, you know, I just want to say to people, just leave him alone. Just let him live his life.
Leave Justin alone.
He, you know, and listen, maybe, and now people are even saying, well, I've heard a couple of rumors. One, and I think we talked about this, that he is starting to make new music, which I'm really excited about, and I have to see him in concert once.
You know what we were saying, my best friend and I were saying, if he does an Eras tour like Taylor Swift just did, how incredible would that be? And we have to go. We have to go.
You want to come with me?
Of course, I would love to come with you. We have to go. How good would that be?
Oh my God, I would be like, you have no idea how, well, you do have an idea how excited I was before I saw him.
Yes.
And I was so glad that I had tickets because I know that tickets kept going up as the concert approached, and I got them like a year ahead. So I've been kind of just waiting. And so, Justin, I hope, wish you were listening, because I would say we're so excited for you to, even if you don't go on tour, just for your, just this talent cannot stop. It's got to, I can't imagine what's going to come from him next, because he's just, I mean, he's
incredible.
He's a musical, I would say to some degree, well, he's a musical genius.
Right. Yeah.
But not for the reason that some people would say a person's a musical genius.
Yeah.
I just think because it's his musicality.
He's got that well-rounded.
Yes.
He's got it all.
Yes, like entertainer, the voice. His voice is beautiful. His range. I mean, he can sing high and low. Like
even from little too. Like as his voice was progressing, he never let that fall. Like he still kept his talent. Yeah. Right. And you know what? He's a good guy. Like you hear that about people, that he is a good guy. Did he do stupid things when he was younger? We all do stupid things.
I don't know a young person who hasn't done some stupid things. Right. Maybe not me, because I was such a goody two shoes.
Perfect.
Listen, he's a man now. He's got a baby now. I really want to see a picture of Jack Blues.
I know. I
feel like, when are they going to show a picture of this baby?
I feel like because everyone kind of like
expects it.
Yes, expects it, and also like ripped him apart since he was younger. I feel like he wants to protect his kid from that.
Absolutely.
You know? So I feel like the more he can hide his personal life, the more sweet it'll be for him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think we'll have to wait a while, maybe until his son starts making music. Who knows?
Can you imagine?
Imagine that.
Imagine how good looking this little boy would
Beautiful.
be. With
Beautiful.
Haley and him. They're
Yes.
such beautiful
I know.
people. Like
So
physically
good.
beautiful people.
Yeah.
But I think it's gonna be interesting to watch. I think he's gonna be a good dad. He has always liked children. He's always been very good with children. You see videos of him playing with kids, and he's just, even when he was young himself, just starting out. Remember his younger sister Jasmine, Jazzy?
He's so
And he was so good with her.
him and
So
like
cute.
Selena Gomez would take her everywhere. Yeah, and his little brother too. He had a little brother too.
Jackson, I think.
So cute.
Yeah, he's. I think he's a good big brother. So usually, good big brothers are pretty good dads too. So
That, and also I feel like he has that like old school Canadian dad mentality. You know what I mean? Like his kid will be playing hockey, and
you think so?
yeah, I think he'll be on like one of those Timbits hockey teams or something. You know?
Speaking of Timbits,
Oh my gosh.
when is there going to be another Tim Biebs? Like
He needs a collab.
He needs to do that again, because that was so funny. Do you remember those commercials?
good.
The girl. Do you remember the commercial of the girl? And she's going, they were collaborating. No, there was the first commercial where he was collaborating on the different flavors of the Timbits.
Yes.
This is the Tim Hortons chain, right? In case somebody doesn't know, the Tim Hortons donut and coffee chain in Canada, which I think, Timmy's. And the second commercial was the girl was kind of going, bye, Justin, remember?
Yes, and she was like hard eyes all over him. He's like, all right, bye. Yeah.
That was funny.
It was so good.
I feel like he needs that. And, and I need to get some more like, of my
Justin
stuff.
Paraphernalia.
So I'll tell this story. When that whole promotion came out with the Timbits and you could get merch, right? You can get merchandise. Like you got the Tim Biebs cups,
The hat.
coffee cup, the hat,
Yes.
and the bag.
The toque, yeah.
So everybody knew I loved Justin Bieber. So Christine, who worked in the office at the time, got me for Christmas, the Tim Biebs cup. And I never used it. So she was like, why don't you use your cup I bought you? And I'm like, no, I can't. It's like precious. It's special. Like I have to keep it as like, a special collector's item. Okay. So then I wanted to keep it as a collector's item. So somebody came in the office and said, I don't know what to get Anita for Christmas. And I think it was Roger. It was one of the custodians or somebody. Yeah, I think it was him. And she said, oh, get her a Tim Biebs cup. I got her one, but she won't use it. So if she has one to keep as a collector's item and you get her one, then she'll use it. So he got me a Tim Biebs. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
Roger, what an icon.
Yeah.
That
So
was
I had that, and then somebody got me the hat. Oh no, they got me the hat for Christmas.
Yes.
Actually, maybe she didn't get me the cup, but maybe Christine. No, because they got me the hat and the bag. And but somebody got me the first cup. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so that was fun. And then when I retired, do you remember?
Yes, how could I forget the cardboard life-size cutout of Justin Bieber that welcomed everyone as they came into your retirement party?
And everybody was taking pictures beside Justin.
Yes, I have a few of those. I think we have one together.
You do.
Yeah.
You do. And
I love
so
it.
the funny part about that, the funny part about that cutout, it was when he was maybe 15 or 16.
Yes,
he was a
he was
teenager.
young. He was young.
And so I took it home, and we have this kind of little nook in our front room, and like in the big sort of like it's an open concept. So I had it there standing up against like the railing. And so I went to bed, and then I got up in the middle of the night to get water, and it scared the hell out of me because I just saw a silhouette of a person. And I was like, oh, Christ, that was Justin Bieber. Anyway, so then my son the next day says, oh, my God, that stupid cutout of Justin Bieber. I almost like thought it was somebody in the living room. So then I finally brought it into my room. And then I was going to, and then I was going to put it away. And then I realized if I fold it, it's going to get damaged. So it's standing up against one of my walls, like in the corner in my wall, in my room.
Out.
Yeah, so everybody now that comes in my room says, "Oh my God, is that Justin Bieber?"
like teen Justin Bieber, like not only adult Justin Bieber, teen Justin Bieber.
I just don't want to wreck the cutout.
It's beautiful. It is a beautiful cutout, honestly.
Oh boy. Well, anyway, I guess we both wish and hope that he's going to be coming out with some new music, and we're going to be listening and watching how things go with the little baby, and
maybe there's another one coming. I don't know. Like, I think the baby's like a year and something.
No,
Right?
I don't think the baby's a year old. August.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure it's August.
Oh.
Yeah. I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was born in August. But no, I don't think there's going to be another baby for a bit.
Maybe. I guess we'll have to ask the Biebs himself.
Bieber, we want to know.
I want to know what your life is like right now. Like, where are they living? Are they in Canada? Like, where? You know?
I think they're still in LA. I think they come to Canada because he's got that beautiful big house on that lake.
Yes.
Yeah. I hope they raise him a little bit in Canada.
Yeah. He'll have his own, like, Timbits jersey, for sure.
Especially before we become the 51st state.
Yeah, right. I forgot about that.
Oh, we won't even go there. But anyway, no. And this is why we're so proud to be Canadian, because we've got icons like Justin Bieber.
We've got so many. We've got the icons. We've got the musical icons. We've got the snow. What more could you want?
The best comedians.
Seriously. Yeah, true.
Well, maybe not the best, but like some of the best.
Mike Myers was great.
Yeah. Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey, yeah, he's iconic.
Yeah, we've got a lot to be proud of. But I'm proud of Justin. I think he's doing okay. I think he just needs to keep on and focus on what's important, and don't listen to all the fluff that's around him.
Yeah, I agree. When you were like, you tell her, Justin, we're telling you.
We're telling you. Keep on. Don't worry about all the rest. Yeah. Just do what you need to do to be a good dad and make yourself happy. Yeah. And a good husband too. Yeah.
Yeah. That's sweet.
Yeah. On that note, I think we'll say thank you, Kristen, so much for being here and for being... I love talking about Justin Bieber, so there's not many people I can do this with.
Thank you for having me. This was so much fun. I love talking about the Biebs. I haven't talked about him in so long. I feel like that's like such a stored part of like my childhood and my adolescence growing up, and now I'm like rediscovering my childhood. It was so much fun. I loved it.
And we'll just wait till we hear about the new concert, hopefully the new tour.
Yeah.
Hopefully. We're going to pray. This story is called Praying for Justin. Now let's pray that he's going to, that he's going to have, wouldn't that be amazing? Oh my God. And we're going to go together, and then we'll do another podcast about our experience.
Yes, we'll make a video. We'll make a movie.
I think I'm going to have to start going on YouTube, but then I'll have to start doing my hair better and everything and wear makeup. I love that. Anyway, thanks, Kristen, so much. And thank you so much, listeners. I hope you, even if you're not a Justin Bieber fan, I hope you can appreciate our appreciation of a musical talent and some of the silly stories that we shared. And can we, you know what? It's too bad we didn't share the story about the doll. Okay, maybe before we say goodbye.
Okay, a quick story. Okay. So for Christmas one year, I got this Justin Bieber Barbie doll that sang One Less Lonely Girl. What an iconic song, because he would bring all the girls up on stage. Oh my gosh, that was like my dream. Anyways, so eventually, and like when he got that one tattoo of a bird on his hip, like that was like the biggest thing ever. And so that was on the doll, and everyone's like, oh my God, just a Bieber doll. And so I got it for Christmas. And the batteries eventually gave out. Okay, like it was not One Less Lonely Girl, it was just muffled noise. So I brought it to school. Was it for...
You showed me. You're like, I'll let you have this for like the year.
Yes, I left it on your desk. It was like sitting on one of the shelf. Yeah. And you called me in my room, and I was like, oh, am I in trouble or something? Okay,
I have to interrupt because you have to hear what I had to go through. Oh, yes. Well, it wasn't even me. I sent my husband.
Yeah.
So I brought it home, and I had my husband look at the doll why it didn't work, and he says, oh, it needs new batteries. And he goes, oh, these look like they're batteries like for a watch. So he went out to the hardware store, and he's like, oh my God, $30 for this doll's batteries. So then I was like, okay, so then he started singing again. So I brought it to school and I thought I would surprise you. So
Yes. So I remember you called my classroom, or you made an announcement and told me to come to the office. And I was like, oh, like, am I in trouble? Like, brand new teaching? I was like, right? And so I come to the office and all I hear is that Justin Bieber playing One Less Lonely Girl. And he was singing better than ever. He was back. He was back, baby. It was great. I loved it. So yeah, Anita had surprised me with Justin and his new vocal cords.
And you know what? Another funny thing about that doll is it kept falling off of that shelf. So I actually put it on like just the desk beside the phone. And I was on the phone with a parent one day. I'm not joking. I was on the phone with a parent and I hit the doll by accident and it started singing. I couldn't turn it off. And so
yes. It doesn't turn off. If you press it, it just keeps going.
I couldn't turn it off. So I'm trying to talk to this parent and wait for the song to end. Oh my gosh, it was so embarrassing.
I'm thinking, oh my God, Kristen.
It was funny. Anyway, that's our Justin Bieber. We probably have way more, but we won't even talk about Bieber Fridays when I made people in the office watch Bieber's videos every Friday.
Yeah. Every Friday was a new Bieber video. One of them, though, my favorite one was that one where he's playing the guitar sideways. What was that movie? He was young. He was so young, and he was playing the guitar. It was like laying down, like on.
Yeah.
What was that movie called again? I can't remember, but that's when I knew. I was like, this guy's good. Yeah. It was so.
He is. He's amazing.
Yeah, that was one of the Bieber Fridays.
Bieber Friday. Yeah, that was fun. We had to make it fun at school because especially during COVID, we had to find things to laugh about. So not that he was something to laugh about, but it was just fun.
It was a feel good. It made us feel good every Friday, you know? Yeah. Thanks, Justin, for the Fridays.
Thanks, Justin. Thanks for giving us that. Yeah. Anyway, okay, this time for real, I'm going to say goodbye and thank you, listeners. And don't forget to subscribe, please, and follow me and give us some reviews and listen to the other stories, the other short stories. Some are true stories, some are not true stories, and hope you enjoy it. Season 2. Okay, until next time, take care.